With the Dallas Mavericks squandering an opportunity to finish off the Western Conference Finals on Tuesday night, would you believe that there were some basketball analysts that said that there was an opportunity for the T-Wolves to make a comeback?
I don't believe anything.
Well, believe it. And many analysts thought that tonight's game would be a blowout. Want to see the results of that? Stay tuned on Hardwood Smack. Welcome back, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us on another edition of Hardwood Smack. I'm, of course, Mr. CeeLo, here welcoming you back. Well, I didn't get a chance to do a review of Game 3, but I really wish I could have, you guys, because I'm going to be real with you. Hearing so many analysts, from Stephen A. Smith even to the asinine comments that were made on the Inside the NBA crew from Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley, were just ridiculous. And, you know, to sit and watch this game, first thing I got to do is I got to come up with the point that was made. Who cares? For one. It was one that was asked on Inside the NBA if after their Minnesota's narrow win Tuesday night, when asked if it came up with the two superstars. If two superstars on each team, being Dallas's Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, were to play well compared to Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, who, if these two pairs, which team would win if both teams played well, or both sets of superstars played well? And Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley said that the Timberwolves would. Well, now here's the thing. The other night you had Kyrie and Luka shooting less than 50% from the field. And tonight you had Kyrie shooting just over 50% from the field, whereas Luka shot well over 50%. Then you look at the Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards factor, and you look here, and between the two of them, you've got way more free throws than Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic shot. Matter of fact, both of these guys shot more free throws individually than the duo for Dallas shot as a pair. So, sitting here looking at this, and you got guys like Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith, who are supposed to be an Emmy-winning analysis, they did a horrible job here. Anybody knows that on a night where these two guys come together and they score like they did tonight, I don't care what Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards do shooting the basketball, they're not going to beat an efficient Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. That's not going to happen. Because here's the thing. Look here. Both of these guys are plus 30.
Outstanding.
Over 30 points in this game, with the bare minimum of free throws. And I'll be honest with you. What's scary is they've only had two guys scoring double figures tonight. And this game was on the road. On the road. That's what I kept saying when people were jumping out of the building talking about, oh, well, this series is a series. Now, no, it wasn't. I knew going into this series that this was not going to be a overly competitive series because here's the thing. You get so caught up in trying to stop guys like P.J. Washington and Gafford, Lively, Kleber, that, I'm going to say it like this, Hardy needs to stay on the bench. Too many bad shots. He's a liability. But when you got a guy like Gafford, you got a guy like P.J. Washington, and these guys do so many different things, so well that Tim Hardaway Jr. has not played the last 2 games. He has not. And really watching this game is something extraordinary to watch because when you look at it, how Luka just came out and just grabbed this game and said, this is my game. This is my game. He, in a nutshell, told everybody in the building, this was going to be my game. Follow me. That's what he said. He said, let's go. Follow me. This is my game. And you can call it what you want. The reality of it is, they came out and they took over this game. And this whole garbage between Stan Van Gundy and Reggie Miller and the inside guys sitting here saying, oh, they were just excited to get one. I don't want to hear that.
You fucking idiot.
You want to sit here and you want to lay Anthony Edwards as the next heir apparent to Michael Jordan. He's a good player. He ain't that dude. I get it, he's 22 years old. But y'all are sitting here saying he's this and he's that. No. The fact is, Luka is a killer. Kyrie Irving is a killer. And it all went back to the fact that Anthony Edwards said, I'm checking Kyrie when they finish Game 7. Kyrie Irving came into this series way more aggressive than he was in any of the previous series. It's like he was saving it, or if Anthony Edwards wants to learn a thing or two, if he's going to be the next Michael Jordan, don't give elite players fuel. You don't give them fuel. And Kyrie Irving came out there with a sense of urgency all 5 games. He might not have shot well in every game, but he came out there with a sense of urgency. And here's the reality. This is something that needs to be talked about. Stop with the whole notion Stan Van Gundy, Reggie Miller, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, and even Shaquille O'Neal, they didn't come out with no energy. No. Dallas came out to prove Game 4 all it was a gentleman's sleep. That's all it was. Dallas was pissed off tonight. It wasn't that Minnesota was, we were hoping not to get swept. You don't go to your home building thinking you grateful to get, you hoping you can get this back to Game 6. Because all y'all sat up there on the stage on Tuesday night talking about, if they get this win, it's going to be very interesting because the pressure's going to be back on Dallas to get this one done. So it don't go back to a Game 7. With that being said, stop this whole notion. The fact is Dallas came out led by Luka Doncic with 20 points in that first quarter, and he said, look, this is it. He said he had to be better, and that's what great players do. Stop sitting here making it about the narrative Minnesota just didn't want to get swept. You technically got swept. We don't want to hear that. Because this beatdown you took right here, everybody knows what the deal was. And when you get 2 superstars, I mean, here's the thing. The question was asked if Kyrie and Doncic played just as good or equally as good as Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, which team wins? If these 2 play great, if these 4 guys play great, which team wins? And they all said Minnesota.
Dumb shit.
They all said Minnesota. This was ugly. Yeah. I mean, I will say this. You did make it a attempt to make it close. You did close the gap some in the third and fourth quarter. But the reality of it is, Luka and Kyrie Irving took it personally. They took this game personally. And especially when you got analysts like Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith and many others that sat there and said that Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, if they play even kill and both of you guys play great, all four of you guys play great, they're taking the Minnesota Timberwolves. You look at it. These guys put up a clinic tonight. An absolute clinic tonight. Shooting the basketball and distributing the basketball and basically inspiring their team. I don't want to hear this whole Minnesota notion, they didn't come out with no fire. I saw very good closeouts. Stan Van Gundy. You can't run over a guy and foul him. I saw some good closeouts. Fact is, Dallas was just a bit quicker. And I think the stat that is important is one I couldn't keep up with, which was a lot of the 50-50 balls. It seemed like Dallas was getting to the 50-50 balls. And you can't beat a team when you're getting extra shots. You're getting extra shots and you're getting so many opportunities at the rim. And like I said, Gafford was just so good when he was on the floor. And it's just impossible. He was plus 20. He was plus 20 on the floor. And guys, when you got a guy that is not necessarily scoring the ball, he was one of the guys in double figures. But when you have a guy like this that is able to do the things that he does and make plays to the magnitude at which he is able to, it makes it so much more difficult for the opposing side to do anything. To do anything within reason. So, as we get ready to conclude, I just want to congratulate the Mavericks and a lot of these analysts. I don't care if you're ex-players or not. Stop saying things that you're gonna have to put your foot. It's basics. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving are by far a better duo than Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, by far. And I'll just go out on the limb right now. The Dallas Mavericks will beat the Boston Celtics and win their second NBA championship. Their first since Dirk Nowitzki.
Bruh.
But until the next time, you guys, keep talking that smack on the hardwood.